Welcome back to Recovery Sticks, everybody, and we're back with another episode. Someone asked me, do you think you can become an addict after getting high and partying with your friends just one time? Heck yeah, you can. It only takes one time. So let's go back in time. Back when I was living in Fredericksburg, I was dating this girl, and I was already a full blown addict. She had never did drugs before. She had never gotten high before. She had never done nothing. And we started dating. We started hanging out. She started hanging out with us, this, that, and the other. Well, it got to a point where one day I was talking to her about drugs and pills and what different pills are. And she actually ended up telling me, hey, I know somebody who has this. I know somebody who takes this. And I was like, you're lying. And she was like, nah. So me and another friend of mine, Mike, he's dead now, but so I can talk about him. Me and Mike were going down to Richmond to go grab something, and it went totally wrong. And we hadn't had nothing all day. And if any of y'all knows what withdrawal is, it's horrible. So we hadn't had nothing all day. We're coming back. We're blown. We still got some money, so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I call the girl. I tell her what happens. She's like, yo, just swing by the house. I'm like, why? She was like, because I'm at this house and what you need is here. I'm like, what? So she's at a house. We pull up. Next thing you know, she comes out with a bag. And she was like, is this what you've been talking about? I look down. I'm like, oh my God. Like, where'd you get this? She was like, a person I know, blah, 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 they take this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, cool. Great. Can you get more? She's like, yeah, I can get as much as you need. All right, bet. What I didn't know at the time was over the next few days, as I was getting these things, she was taking them. So she had took them for about a good 4 days, 5 days, right? Well, one day she didn't have any. I still had some, but she didn't have any. So she calls me, or no, I called her, and she just didn't sound good. I was like, "What's the matter?" She was like, "I don't know. I don't feel good. I'm hurting. I'm throwing up. Like I'm cold. I'm hot. I'm shivering. I can't stop going to the bathroom. Like I don't feel good." And I was like, "Well, have you been taking those things?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How many days have you been taking them?" She was like, "Since I started giving them to you." I said, "Since you started giving them to me?" She said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh man." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "You don't have a cold. You don't have a flu. You're going through a withdrawal." She was like, "It had only been 3, 4 days. Like, what do you mean?" I was like, "It only takes one time." I end up getting out the car, going into the house, grabbing what I needed, driving back over there, giving her what I had, and it took the withdrawal away. From that day forward, full blown addict. Full blown addict. Now, thank God, at this point, we were able to get what we were going through, so we didn't have to go through a bunch of crazy stuff to get it, but became a full blown addict, all right? It only takes one time. Only takes one time. Now, thank God that person ended up getting their life together. She's great. She's doing her thing. She's an amazing person, an amazing mom, an amazing, I think, wife to somebody. She's just a great person. But at that time, man, it only took one time. It only took one time. Another thing, I'm gonna give y'all another story. When I was living in Orlando, there was a place called Backstage Billiards. It was a pool hall. We all hung out there. Professional pool players play there. It's a very big pool hall. 20, 30 tables, just a very, very big pool hall. And it's out near Universal Studios. It's just an amazing place to go play pool, eat, drink. It was great. That's where we all hung out at. I had this kid that I used to hang out with. He used to hang out with us. He he smoked weed, but he really didn't party. He really didn't do any of this. And at the time, we were messing with Roxy's, and we were just kind of just dibbling and dabbling. But we had so much of the stuff, because this is when pill mills were big. We had so much of the stuff that we never went sick. So this was in that whole. I don't know if I said it in previous videos. I did opiates for 9 months before I ever found out what being dope sick was, because we just had so much of it. It was 8 or 9 months before I figured out that this is what withdrawal is. So this is during that period. Well, this kid that's hanging out with us, good kid, good family, parents on a great business. He doesn't really, get in any trouble, this, that, and the other. He asked me one day, he was like, "Hey man, do you have any of those perks you're taking?" I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Cause I want to take one while we play pool." I was like, "All right." He's seen us take them. He's seen us turn up on them. He's seen us, have a good time, smashed out of our minds, just messed up out of our minds, doing wild stuff, just high. So I'm like, "Yeah, man, I know this guy's not going to take them every day. So I just give him one. Here, I don't charge him for it. I'm like, here, man, have fun." So he takes it, breaks it down, sniffs it. This man shoots one of the best pool games I've ever seen in my life. And that's a big reason I started taking them, because it narrowed my focus. Like, I could shoot pool crazy. Um, so he ended up playing that pool game. Well, a couple days later, I think it was like 2 days later, he entered into a pool tournament. And because he had seen how good he played that pool game, he wanted the same pills for this tournament. So he comes by and he asks me if he can have some, and I'm like, "How many you need?" He's like, "I need 5," and I was like, "All right." So we handle that. Boom, it is what it is. Well, he plays that pool game, that pool tournament that day, and he has pills left over for the next day, and he plays them the next day, and then I think the third day, that Sunday was the end of the tournament. So on that Sunday, he got some more pills and he played. Now remember, this is just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Average weekend for anybody, nothing big whatsoever. Monday comes around. I remember I was sitting on the back of my truck. I'm just talking. I'm sitting on the tailgate of my truck. I'm talking to one of my boys. Dude calls. "Hey, are you at home?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'm coming through." I'm like, "All right, come through." Again, he hung out with us, so it wasn't like it was weird for him to come through. People came through the house all the time. So he pulls up, he gets out, t-shirt, basketball shorts, just tennis shoes, hair's not done, just looks like he just rolled out of bed, got in his car, and came to my house. So I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on? How's everything going? This, that, and the other." He's like, "I'm good, I'm good. Hey, look, man, I don't feel good." I was like, "What do you mean you don't feel good? Like, you got a cold? Like, why'd you come here? What do you mean you don't feel good?" He's like, "I don't feel good." He's like, "I think those pills messed me up." I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I don't feel good." And I was like, "All right, well, you can go inside and lay down, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Well, do you have any more of those pills? They might help me." I was like, "Well, yeah, they're for pain. They make you feel better. So, yeah, I got some more if you want some here." I give him one. He snores it. 15 minutes later, great. Golden. Happy. All back in life. Everything. Again, remember, I didn't know what withdrawal was at this time. So, I was like, "All right, well, if I have a cold, I can take this pill." This kid went on from doing one pill a day, 2 pills a day, to doing 10, 15 perks, blues, or Roxy's a day, to snorting heroin, to shooting heroin, to eventually overdosing on heroin while I was locked up in 2016. Yeah, while I was locked up in 2016. He ended up going, and when I say this all happened in a 4 year period. 4 or 5, yeah, 4 year period. Just went from normal, great kid to getting high one day to becoming a full blown addict. Now, is it, I don't control what other people do. And at the time, I couldn't control what I was doing because my mind was going 2 different ways. I could control it, but I didn't see the outcome. You know, when everybody's doing something and everybody's doing something at the same time, regardless if it's wrong or right, you feel like this is what the right thing is to do. You feel like, hey, we can never get in trouble for this. You feel like if he's doing it, I should be doing it. If they're doing it, I should be doing it. You kind of feel like it is what it is. It's not taboo because everybody's doing it. I mean, you got officials doing it. You got cops doing it. You got all these people doing it. So it's not like it was a crazy thing at the time because nobody really knew the outcome of it. You know, I liken it to the story somebody told me about crack back in the day when crack first hit the street. people were selling it and smoking it, this, that, and the other, and it was acceptable because nobody knew the outcome of what being a crackhead is, because nobody knew about it. Then people started robbing and stealing and shooting and killing behind crack, and everybody was like, oh my God, crack tore away my family. And that's what the opiate game did in pill mills in Florida. What I'm trying to tell people is, I know that you think it's okay to get high Saturday or Friday when you get paid and then go back to work and it's not that big of a deal. Or it's okay to get your paycheck and go get high on Friday after work, or get high on Saturday at the barbecue, this, that, and the other, and then Sunday maybe have a little left over and finish it off. What I'm telling you is, it always escalates. It will always escalate. Everything in the drug world always ends bad. I've said this in most videos. It always ends bad, no matter what. If you start getting high on Friday, and then you say, I'm going to get high on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm not going to get high on Sunday, your brain will start to think and say, well, if I can get high Friday and Saturday, then I can get high Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, no big deal. Then you'll start to realize that you can actually focus and you can go about your life. So then what will happen is you'll do it Monday, or you'll be in the middle of the week and you'll be like, man, my boss is stressing me out. Let me go get whatever I need. You go get it, you go back to work, you feel better, you're working. But then because you work better, you don't want to go back to how you were working before, so you stay high while you're at work. Well, then what happens is you forget what it's like to live sober. You forget what it's like to have natural happiness. You forget what it's like to be a normal person in society. And then the only way you know how to do that is to be high. And then your brain is just programmed to only really function off of being high. So then when you stop being high, your body doesn't know how to react. The substances are going crazy. Your brain's trying to figure out what's going on. Why am I not being fed this amazing drug that made me feel great? And how do I deal with emotion? Because now you've been high so long, all your emotion and pain has been covered up by drugs. All your hurt has been covered up by drugs. All your decisions have been made on drugs. Now when you have to go back and try to figure out your life sober, it's this huge thing, and most people don't want to be able to deal with it. So, can you become a full-blown addict off of getting high one time? Absolutely. The message to everybody in this is, if you don't want to become an addict and you don't want your friends and your family to become an addict, stop them while they're in their tracks and don't give them anything. Even if it's just for a party, do not give them anything. Even if it's just a Friday, even if it's just a Saturday, it always ends bad down the street. Alright guys, I'm at work. Thank y'all for watching. Please share this message. If you know anybody, just share it in general, because somebody's going to watch it and it's going to make them second guess, because there's always somebody who's trying to figure out if they should get high, if they should do this. There's not a lot of information about it. There's not a lot of information on actual people who are doing it. You know, there's a lot of studies gone by doctors, but I try to give people my life. I live this. I really did do all this. So, guys, thank you for watching. I hope y'all have a good day. Peace.